Welcome to my video of riding the Tasmania Trail. The trail runs from the north, from Devonport, through the south, here in absolutely stunning Dover. This is what I rode. The bike's pretty well kitted out with everything I needed for the 7 nights, 8 days, with camping gear, with food, with all the other parts for the trip. And it was tough. The bike, it went through river crossings, had to pick it up over fallen trees, but it handled it all well, all the way through. The ride goes from some amazing countryside. It starts off in the lowlands near Devonport with all the farming area, rides up through Poama into the fishing lakes, into the Great Lakes area, where there's some beautiful lakes to camp beside, and you'll see all the fishermen there trying to catch the trout. Then higher up into the mountains, and then slowly descending here into Dover at the sea. I hope you enjoy the video. Day one of the Tasmania Trail ride starts at Devonport and rides the initial part along the Mersey River. From there it heads inland, covering farming lands. It passes through some absolutely picturesque towns, including Railton, Sheffield and Paradise. Along the way there's a couple of spots where there's locked gates, and you get to take all the bags off the bike and lift the bike over fences. Lots of longer grass, a couple of trees areas, so it was a beautiful day's ride, but challenging. And then it ends up at a beautiful campsite right on the side of the Mersey River.
Nothing like a locked gate. And here we go. We're doing one of the first river crossings on the Tasmania Trail. We're crossing the beautiful Mersey River. To get across, take all your packs, all the packs come off, well, apart from that one, just to try to lighten the load. So it's that's about as deep as it goes, up to knee deep, a little bit further on the other side. We're crossing over, there's an inlet just on the far side over there, and there's a track up, and the track keeps going off to our left into Red Hill. What a beautiful camping spot. Camp right on the river there. Coffee there, coffee on the rocks here. You can hear the platypus early in the morning swimming in the river. The absolute beauty of what is the Tasmania Trail. So let's go across the river. a bit of TLC bike lube after for the chain after going through what was quite a deep river. The Mersey River went up above, probably halfway up the wheel. So we'll just give her a bit of oil, a bit of chain lube, just to keep her nice and fresh for the remainder of the run. Use a cloth in there as well to keep it off the bike. It was quite good actually. It was apart from getting across, it was a good wash for the shoes and just a general wash of the bike material, of the bike, and half a bathe. That'll nicely lube it across as we ride into the next day. Give it a nice amount just to there you go, give it a nice wipe. And that's it. That'll get us into the next day or two. Well, at least until the next river crossing. Great that they got the Tasmanian Trail markers, even when you cross the river. So there, we crossed the other side of the Mersey River there, took the bike over first, then the packs, and did the oil. Time to keep following the trail.
Just after we'd crossed the Mersey River, we get a chance to look up the hill, and my what a hill. It rained quite heavily about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there's lots and lots of trees down, some storms. So here we go with the big hiker bike section of the ride. After a terrific night's sleep on the Mersey River, day 2 is about a 72-kilometre ride on reasonably level ground all the way through to Bracknell. The start of the day is pretty tough, going up the Mersey River banks where there was a whole bunch of trees down and a bit of hiker bike activity. The rest of it is fairly flat lands all the way through, easy ride, ending up at the Bracknell pub for a terrific counter meal and a campsite about 5 minutes ride away. So all in all, an easy day's ride. And just on the outskirts of Red Hill, what's on but a good old-fashioned country tractor pull. Half the residents in town are here, all the tractors are lined up to see who's got the strongest tractor in town. Had to stop and have a bit of a rest after that hiker biking activity. Today we've got the ride from the Bracknell campsite up to Jonah Bay. The ride starts off on reasonably flat rural land and then starts the climb up the Powhatina Range. It's a nice 1500 metre ascent with switchbacks all the way up half a dozen times. Then once we reach the top, we have a bit of a run downhill into the Jonah Bay campsite. It's a lovely day's ride with a nice campsite at the end, right on the water's edge, passing through the Great Lakes area.
There's our mountain climb for today. We've just come up past Powhatina, the township, and we're going to go up and over the mountain range here into the lakes area. So past Bluff and the Lookout, if you can see, there's some pipelines up there, right up through there, up to the top. So it's about 1,000 metres of climb, just over. So looking forward to the ride.
Day 4 is an amazing ride through the Tasmania Lakes District, starting at Jonah Bay. The Lakes District is actually a renowned angler's paradise, famous for world-class trout fishing and hydro systems. As you're riding along, there are many different hydro stations with pipes running down. For the majority of Tasmanians' power is generated via hydro systems. It's a beautiful ride, pretty well going from lake to lake, all the way through the district, stopping through at various camping sites, lots of boats and lots of fishermen on the way through. Again, a lovely day's ride. Today's ride takes us through to Edendale. It takes us through the tracks into Ooze, where we stopped and grabbed a pie the best pepper pie in Australia, they say, and it sure was. Getting to Ouse, we ride through, and there's a main river crossing at the Broad River. But as you'll see, unfortunately, there's been snow up in the valley and in the mountains, and so the water level was too high at the Broad River. So I had to turn back and take a detour, and which made the day a slightly longer day. But it was nevertheless a great riding day.
Well, this is Broad River. It's one of the river crossings on the way through. I've already stepped it out. It's the first half looks okay with the bike, but just in the middle there, it's an absolute torrent. So I think I'm safer at the moment. There's been a fair bit of rainfall the last couple of days, so I think I'm safer going back a couple of k's, taking a bit of a detour, and heading back. There's a bridge over here, just back a couple of k's. Unfortunately, I went all the way downhill to get here. I had to push a bike up there, but it's actually a stunning looking river. But yeah, I walked out to the middle bit. It looks okay. It's that far bit where it went up over my hips. So, well, without the bike, just testing the water. So, yeah, I think chickening out is the right thing. I'm sure it's all the rain over the last couple of days. So, push your bike up the hill.
Day 6 is a slightly longer ride from Allendale to Huonville at 92 kilometres. It starts off reasonably flat. Once we get up past Bushy Park, we start getting into the logging areas, and there's a couple of quite large peaks on the way through. One of the interesting things about this one is it's a very heavily logged area, so there's lots of logging trucks coming through. I had a couple of logging companies pull over and just remind me to keep out of the way as the trucks come around the corner. Lots of dust, lots of big trucks. Once we get over the top, we take the road all the way back into the Huon Valley, and a nice easy ride along the mighty Huon River, and takes us into Huonville to camp for the night. Day 7, and the last day of the Tasmania Trail ride, goes from Huonville to the finish in Dover. It's a shorter day at around about 46 kilometres, and for a good part of the ride, it follows the Huon River on its journey to the ocean, then crossing over and a couple of mountain ranges, a couple of peaks, and then a downhill run into Dover.